Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, once again, as per your respective time zone. On behalf of entire Evosys Managed Services team, we'd like to welcome you all to 22B Benefits and Compensation Advisory webinar session. This important session is to keep you fully synchronized with the new features and functionalities as a part of this quarter release which Oracle provides to us. My name is Hardik Patel, and I'm an Options Manager here at Evosys Managed Services Department. Today, I'm your host for this session, and I'm glad to introduce my colleague, Kriti Padankar, who's part of our vast HCM team at Evosys. Today, she'll take us through all the benefits and compensation updates for 22B quarter release. Today's session is planned for around 45 minutes, and we'll make sure that we answer all your questions you may have. You can use chat or a question panel to answer any questions you may have during the session or at the end of the session. We have experts sitting with us as a panelist during the session. They'll be able to answer your questions. Before we move to today's agenda, let's have a quickly look at the disclaimer. We would like to convey you our approach towards Oracle updates in a very simpler method. We'll be taking you through vital analysis for the 22B updates done by our experts, which will help you incorporating new features and updates easily into your system. We will also sync you on any bugs or known issues if there are any. It's good to have an interactive session. As mentioned earlier, feel free to ask any questions through chat or question panel. This is to give you a glimpse on how we have created the structure of this session. So the first thing what you see is a list of new features coming into 22B. And then you'll see detailing on the features, so you get brief understanding on what new features are all about. The next one is what are the business benefits and important takeaway for you as a decision maker. There are four components where we have done in-depth analysis of features which we are going to present to you today. The first one is impact level analysis, which demonstrates the impact on the end user. If it's a low impact, then regression testing can be avoided. If it's a high impact, then we need to opt for regression testing. The second one, which is we all are aware that there are some features which are by default auto-enabled by Oracle, and there are some which we need to opt for. And the third one highlights the nature of the feature. There would be certain configurations which may be required and some can be used without any changes at all. And the last one, which is a quick win. This term is especially used to simply convey that what is ready to use by investing minimum amount of time and what requires significant amount of time and efforts to make use of this feature. With this, before I hand it over to my colleague, just to make this future webinar a bit more fruitful, we'd like to know which industry your organization belongs to. So on the screen, you'll see the poll. You can just let us know which industry does your organization belongs to. And just after this, I'll be immediately handing over to my colleague, Kriti, and she'll begin with today's session. Thank you so much for the poll. And I'm handing over to my colleague now, Kriti. Unmute yourself and stage is all yours. Begin for today's session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hardik, for the introduction. A very warm greetings for the day to this May Hall of Business Analytics, all the stakeholders and Fusion enthusiasts. My name is Kriti Patankar, working as an Oracle Cloud Consultant with Evosys. Oracle has released another set of amazing features and improvised previous features in all the modules. Today, I'll walk you through the new features introduced for benefits and compensation module in this 22B update. Our session today is not limited only to the introduction of these features, but also intense understanding of its business benefits, so that you can choose to align them in your organizational practices. This is our way to provide quality consulting to our clients. In this 22B update, we have total of 42 updates in benefits and compensation module. Mainly, we have two types of features, default and opt-ins. As the name suggests, for default, we don't need to enable any feature, whereas opt-in features depends on the business need. Here we have 23 features which are default and 19 features which are comes in opt-in category. 19 opt-in features are further divided into 14 quick win features which require very low configuration and testing. Rest 5 features which are not comes under quick win category. In default features, all the features are comes under quick win category. Further, we divided up 42 features in the four categories. First category is quick win default features, which features require no configuration. The second category is quick win opt-ins, the features which we need to enable them. The third category is rest features which are not quick win. Lastly, we will discuss some OTBI enhancement. Let's start with quick wins default with no configuration features. The first feature in this category is add a text at plan and option level in self-service benefits. We have an additional instruction text box on the plan and option level. This enhancement helps participants to elect the more suitable plan, especially plans from the same plan type. Previously, it was quite confusing for the participant to select plan from the same plan type. Now they can read about each plan and enroll according to their choice. Let's discuss with a relatable example. If there are three medical plans provided by the company, an employee has to select only one from these three plans, then in this case, instruction text box will provide specifications of each plan and it really helps employee to elect the best plan. Moving to our next update, which is use plan copy for only rates. This update is a very important update as it saves time of benefit admin while importing benefit plans. Previously, we needed to import the whole plan when only one object of it having an update. I will love to explain this with an example. Generally, benefit rates need to be updated frequently as compared to benefit options, year periods, and other plan objects. Now we have an option to import rates only without impacting the other setup. Here in this picture, we can see we have an option to import specific objects only. We can select rates just to import only rates without impacting the other objects like options and eligibility profile and etc. Moving forward to our next update, which is plan copy support for multiple set IDs. With this update, we can use plan copy for objects like job family, mainly which are assigned to reference data set. We can use their alternative names which are provided with this update during import and export processes. This is again a very important update for benefit admin to migrate plan from one instance to other. Moving forward to our next update, which is carry forward an optional standard component. Now we can carry forward an optional salary component to the next salary proposal. Previously, it was not allowed. Here we have this option under the component section of salary basis. Here we can see in this picture the special allowance is an optional salary component and we have an option to carry forward it to the next salary. Moving forward to our next update, which is warn when correcting salary. This feature is again a very important one from the manager's perspective. Now the manager will get a warning while creating a new salary record on a particular date on which a record is already created. It will throw a warning like you are correcting an existing salary. The warning appears for the responsive change salary and salary history and employment change actions such as promote and transfer and change salary assignment. As we can see in this picture, the warning is coming like you are correcting an existing salary. This update helps them to analyze current changes and take decisions accordingly. Coming to our next update, which is change in transaction design studio, show or hide regions behavior for salary change. With this enhancement, we can hide or unhide fields specific to various roles like in Line Manager using Transaction Design Studio. Previously, it was done by using Page Composer, which is quite risky and required a lot of maintenance. Now, we can achieve this by using Transaction Design Studio, which is comparatively less risky and low maintenance. Let's have a look on this picture. Like previously, we have only when and why. After this update, we can see here the line managers when and why is present in place of when and why. So this update improves customization. Moving forward to our next update, which is from workforce compensation, that is exit plan setup. This update also comes as a blessing for all the compensation administrator who used to navigate while configuring a compensation plan. Previously, we had two options, one for next page navigation and another for previous. Now we have this exit button to jump back to the task page directly. This saves our time when we have to update only a few tasks of the compensation plan. Moving forward to our next update, which is work from work for compensation change in navigation from worksheet to landing page. With this update, we have an additional way to come out from the worksheet page. Oracle has provided an arrow to navigate back to landing page from worksheet. Previously, there was no such way to jump back. This update saves our time because it provides better navigation than earlier one. Moving forward to our next update, which is again from workforce compensation. Change in location of number of available plans. We have another update in workforce compensation. Now the available plan links are present in the upper left side of the UI, which is easier to find. Previously, links for the plans are available in the upper right side of the UI. We can see the new positions in the picture, and moreover, the plans are further divided into these categories like primary managed plans, secondary managed plans, and we can just select plans from these categories. Moving forward to our next update, which is change in budget pool configuration behavior after you run the workforce compensation process. With this enhancement, a restriction is added. Now user cannot change budget pool configuration when the workforce compensation cycle is already started. This is really a very impactful update as this reduces confusion and restricts users to make any changes during the cycle. Admin can view the configuration, but changes in configuration will only take place when there is no open compensation cycle is present. Moving forward to our next update, which is disabled alert no longer appear in alerts analytics and approval task. With this update, now we can hide the seeded alerts. This can make the analytic task page view more clearer. Before this update, if we had disabled the alert, still all the alerts were appearing here. But now with this enhancement, make the alerts completely disabled. In this picture, we can see the seeded alerts are not visible here. Moving forward to our next update, which is configure budget overview properties. This enhancement allows us to set decimal place at a particular position in property section of budget overview. This page will come under configure budget, display budget pools and overview under properties. Here you just need to type the number. As you can see in this picture, the number is 3, so the number is present, the decimal is present after 3 places. So it will provide a clear idea of budget values and compensation cycle. Moving forward to our next update, which is edit base salary change amount and base salary change percentage and worksheet. This feature provides authority to the managers to edit the base salary change amount and base salary change percentage change columns in the worksheet. Before this update, these two fields cannot change in worksheet. We need to enter the salary change amount and percentage from their separate task locations. To enable this feature, we need to deselect the read-only checkbox here. Moving forward to our next update, which is change in downloaded workbook behavior. We have very important features added to the downloaded workbook. The first one is a date selector is now added in all date fields to reduce the data errors. Second onwards, we have data validations is configured in each column. If someone will try to add text in numeric column, then system will show error. Previously, these validations and date selectors are not present in the system. This is again an important update to reduce data errors. Moving forward to our next update, which is allow for statement actions to be completed after doing compensation change statements. You can now configure worker statement actions to be completed after a person has reviewed their compensation change statements. Previously, people needed to complete statement actions before accessing the statement. As we can see in the system, we have two options like before viewing and after viewing. The default setting is before viewing. Let's see the settings for after viewing. As we can see, the people need to see the statements here, then only the accept and decline button will make it able to select. Moving forward to our next update, which is market data, HDL and HSDL for positions. With this update, we can map job data to internal positions with spreadsheet data loaders. Previously, only job mapping was possible. Now we can map positions to job also. First, to understand these, we need to discuss what is market data and its use in system. To calculate certain amount of compensation or salary for a particular job, we need to compare the salary amount with the market rate, and that market salary is here called as market data. Now we are able to map that data with positions. This is a really very unique and important update in compensation. Moving forward to our next update, which is total compensation statement, stock history category. With this update, admin can control the number of columns to be displayed in online and printable statement. Now we can set the number different in both the statements. Previously, it should be same only. In online statement, we can view all the columns, and in printable statement, we can display the column according to our requirement. Moving forward to our next update, which is again from total compensation statement, ability to share statement definitions. This update allows us to share the statement definitions across the environment. The export and import actions are now added on the statement definition page. Previously, it was done by using FSM. This update impacts on a large scale. Therefore, the impact level is high here because we need to now we can easily migrate compensation statement across the environments through the new import and export XML features. Coming to our next update, which is again from total compensation statement, display title and salary for successive job. This is the last feature in this category. Here is an important update in the compensation module. Now the latest title and salary for successive job will appear in the statement header area with the following conditions like if person has only one assignment and person has only one assignment for the employer or more than one assignment. This screenshot represents the case for the first condition, which is when a person has only one assignment. Here we can see the job title is present in the upper side of the UI and the salary is also present in the upper side. People can now see the most recent valid active title salary in the header even when a person was rehired or changed job. Next onwards, we have opt-in features which are quick wins, but we need to enable them. The first feature in this category is enhance audit purge reporting details. We have three new purge processes added on benefit schedule process to make reporting easier. These processes present in the process tab of evaluation and reporting icon inside the benefit and administration. You need to just make the audit log as yes in the picture, and after this update we can see the extra numeric data will present on the report. Like before this update, we cannot see the total complete log provided by this process. So this update helps us making reporting more easier. Moving forward to our next update, which is allow unrestricted processing to restrict once a day. Here is an amazing feature comes and benefit without live events. Now we can configure the setup to process the enrollment window of unrestricted live event just once a day. Before this update, employee and admin can process the unrestricted event any number of times. This can create confusion. Now employee can make changes in enrollment at any number of times, but with this update, these enrollment will process only once a day. Moving forward to our next update, which is enhance enrollment summary page. Here is a very amazing feature provided by Oracle in this update. Now, employee will be able to print expanded view of enrollment summary page to see more details on a specific date also. You need to turn on this. That's why this feature is come under opt-in features. Additionally, in this feature, if open enrollment event is active, then your benefit page displays open enrollment details automatically. Moving forward to our next update, which is allow participant to add eligible contact during self-service enrollment. This is an extremely amazing feature provided for benefit admin and benefit participants. Previously, if employee will add any context after the event is processed, then this contact is not eligible for benefits as dependent. To make that contact as eligible, we need to reprocess the live event again. After this, After this update, we can directly add contacts as eligible. We don't need to reprocess the right event, and we can make the contacts as eligible for benefits as dependents. As we can see in the picture, the benefit setup diagnostic test report also includes a new column to indicate whether the self-service configuration for this feature is enabled or not. And we have uh, added the column as contacts is added as eligible dependent or not. Moving forward to our next update, which is contact person number to identify benefit contact. Now system will generate person number for contacts also. And the new contacts person number will appear just next to the contact name in the before you enroll page. With this, we can identify contacts more easily with their person number. In some special cases, if an employee has two children of same name, then this update will help us to identify the contacts easily. This helps us to deal with duplicate contacts as well. Coming to our next update, which is extend benefit employee alerts. There's an update with the benefit alerts. A new event alert is added in the bucket. As we can see, there are two new alerts. With this, we can send a confirmation alert to the participant when a self-declared event is added, when dependent is added, which is to be covered by court orders. Like in this first picture, we can see these are the two new alerts, and just we need to enable these alerts using Alert Composer. We can see in the next picture there's a after the alert is enabled, we can see in the next picture a confirmation mail is sent to the employee that a self-declared live event is assigned. Moving forward to our next feature, which is UK pension enrollment. This is a special page designed for UK pensioners to enroll in eligible pension scheme, and they can also make changes to their contribution. Admin can enable this feature using quick actions from a structure. As you can see in this picture, this page is open from a structure, and we need to create sandbox and select page composer as a tool. Under the quick actions, you select the box to add the link and make it visible by selecting yes. You can also make it as mobile enabled to select the mobile enabled as yes. Moving forward to our next feature, which is honor salary data security while copying from source assignment. This update is again a particularly important update in terms of security. Let's discuss this with an example. If there is a global transfer action exists, now this update can restrict the new HR team to copy the earlier salary from previous assignment. Previously, they were able to copy the earlier salary details and then they can correct it accordingly. But now they can propose the new salary. Here we can see the error message in the picture that you can't copy the salary from the source assignment. Moving forward to our next update, which is honor individual composition data security while copying from source assignment. This update is quite similar to the previous one. It also comes with a restriction that a global transfer action uh, during a global transfer action we cannot copy the individual composition provided to the employee from the source assignment. We need to add a new one. As we can see in the picture, the individual compensation, we can see the error that the individual composition from the source assignment won't be copied. This update can restrict them to copy the individual composition. Moving forward to our next update, which is allow progression when future assignment exists. With this enhancement, now we can allow progression when a future assignment change exists in the system. Previously, we were getting error on this, but now we can deselect that box to make the error message as disabled. Coming to our next update, which is allow progression without salary increase when proposed salary is less than or equal to current salary. Now you don't need to increase the salary of employee when his assignment moves to next grade step in grade step run progression. Previously, we were getting error for this, but now we have an option to change the setup. Moving forward to our next update, which is allow proposed salary less than or equal to current salary in grade step progression process. This update allows us to process a new salary which can be less or equal to earlier salary during the grade step progression. It was not allowed earlier. Now admin can make this possible with this update. As you can see in this picture, if you want to continue to see an error message when the proposed salary is not greater than current salary, then set the new configuration option to error. Moving forward to our next update, which is prevent submission without changes. We can enable an error message or a warning when someone tries to submit a personal contribution, an individual compensation, or an administrative compensation action without making changes. This update can remind the user to make changes in all the tasks. Previously, we can select on submit without making any changes. Now we can change the setup. You can see in this picture there's an error coming to remind the user to make changes before submission. Moving forward to our next update, which is carry forward an optional standard component in grade step progression. Now we have an option to include optional salary component in grade step progression batch process. Previously, we cannot forward an optional component in grade step progression. We need to update this manually. But now with this update, we can forward it too in this process. Next on, we have REST features which are not quick win. The first feature from the REST categories is enable save and save and close button in salary action using HCM transaction design studio. We can add a save and save and close buttons in change salary page using HCM transaction design studio, and it makes navigation more easier. Previously, we used page composer for such customization, which includes high risk and maintenance. And now with this update, we can configure this using HCM transaction design studio, which is comparatively low risk. Moving forward to our next update, which is enable the save and save and close button in individual composition action using HCM transaction design studio. This feature is quite similar to the previous one. With this, we can add a save and close button in individual composition action using HCM transaction design studio. Previously, this customization is done by using page composer tool, but now we can do this with using HCM transaction design studio, which is low maintenance and not that risky. It makes navigation easier and improves design flexibility. Moving forward to our next update, which is composition replaced or remove features. Removal of dynamic column configuration option from the unsupported columns. After this update, we cannot configure dynamic column using these following columns. Previously, it was allowed, but application could not work very well with this setup. Now, Oracle has removed the ability to configure dynamic columns using these columns. This is in continuation of previous update. We cannot configure the dynamic columns using these columns. Again, these are the columns we cannot configure as dynamic columns. Moving forward to our next update, which is compensation replaced or remove features, removal of defaulting for amount last updated by worksheet columns. This update comes with a restriction. After this, we cannot make these worksheet column as default. These columns are last amount updated by component 1, last amount updated by component 2, and etc. Moving forward to our next update, which is compensation replaced or remove features and discontinued support for salary default from grade ladder rates in HCM Classic Simplified User Interface. Lastly, in this section, Oracle has removed the feature to make salary as default in grade ladder rates from its Classic UI. If you still want to salary default, then you have to use responsive UI in place of Classic UI. Last category we have OTBI. Here we discuss all the OTBI enhancements. Coming to our first enhancement in this category is program and plan attributes and benefit subject area. New attributes are added to the benefit legal disclaimer folder in the benefit section items, real-time subject area. Now we have plan name and program name as an attribute in benefit subject area. This update surely makes reporting easier. Moving forward to our next update, which is currency attribute in stock real time. Currency code attribute is added as a new attribute in the stock real-time subject area. Under stock details, we can see here the currency code is included in this subject area. This really helps us to understand the stock values with the addition of currency codes. Moving forward to our next update, which is from market data subject area enhancement. New folders are added in market data subject area, which is mapped internal job, mapped internal positions, and mapped internal location. As we can see in the picture, all three fields are present here, like mapped internal job, positions, and locations. This update is for better understanding of positions at job and locations, which are mapped together to survey job. Next onwards, we have another update, which is grade rate value of grade step progression. This is the last OTBI enhancement. To report on compensation minimum, midpoint, and maximum and value for grade steps, a new folder which is named as progression grade ladder rates was added to the salary subject area. This can enhance the reporting in salary subject area, especially in grade step progression. Thank you so much. Next onwards, we have a Q&A session. Over to you, Hardik.
Thank you, Kriti, for the wonderful insights. Just before we move to the Q&A, we'd like to know with a quick poll your area of interest, which will help us creating some more content for webinars on this scale. You can please help us letting us know whether your area of interest is technology innovation, managed services, value-based analytics, or cloud transformation. And meanwhile, we'll also check if there's any question we have on the chat or question panel. Thank you so much for your inputs. With this, we would also like to keep you informed that in next 48 to 72 hours time, we'll be sending you an email wherein you'll find a HTML page, and there will be a link inside. If you click on that link, it will take you to the Evosys site where you'll find all the webinar content along with the test scripts and the PDF presentations. And also you'll see the recording of this webinar, which will be accessible from YouTube link. So everything will be accessible, all the webinars, the past ones, and the today one more session is left for the PPM finance side. That will be also loaded. So that will be on the single page, which you can use as a repository for your internal use, or you can pass it to your colleagues as well. And before you all leave us, we'd just quickly like to know how we did today on the scale on 1 to 5 overall experience in today's session. And just to keep you all informed that we don't have any questions in the chat or question panel at the moment, but if you do have it at a later stage, please do reach out to the project managers or the consultant or the team leaders, and we'll be happy to answer them. Again, to stress you, we'll be sending you the recording and the PDF presentation along with the test scripts in the Excel file, which you will be able to download as well to your computer. So please look out for that in next 2 to 3 days time max, in a couple of days max. Yeah. Thank you so much, and thanks for the important feedback using which we can improve it moving forward. And these were the sessions we've covered so far. You'll find all the recordings and presentations there. Half of them are already loaded, and the ones for today and yesterday, which will also get loaded by next 48 hours time. So please make use of them. So thank you so much for your support and your attendance today. And with this, we'll like to thank you everyone for your important time for today's 22B benefits and compensation session. Really appreciate your time and effort. Thank you so much.